Hello once more and welcome back to my channel. Knowing closeness is more than merely physical contact. It involves tapping into the more profound emotional and psychological characteristics of your spouse in this video. While import that women frequently desire for their partners to touch, demonstrating these motions can improve comprehensive connection. We will also explore the psychology of these preferences based on female psychology, Stoicism, and to assist in creating a more deep connection in your relationships. The importance of maintaining eye contact. Click the subscribe button if you're interested and prepared to step up your handling connections and unleash the potential of Stoic in your life. Means Thatcher in the appropriate location. Each video provides you with one more step toward mental mastery and making deeper, more significant confidence. Let's get going. Okay, this is the harsh reality of closeness is more than simply the physical aspect of it. Further into the power of touch and attraction, the domain of trust than thought, relationship, and comprehension. You might believe fat talk is everything. However, most men overlook this secret weapon view of making eye contact. Yes, I am discussing the type of off-eye contact. It breaks down and cuts through the noise walls and fosters a closer bond. Marathon. You ever thought you've most likely felt it prior to instances where looker in thighs and the entire world is a parse? It's not about looking at her clumsy like some creep. This isn't the same. This is about thus silences. When words run accessory and your eyes are it's at unstated amid all speech. Connection that speaks louder than words. When your eyes meet hers, you could see. It resembles a surge in an electric current. That's the power of the E. Between you to contact has the ability. Powerful due to its honest and draw. And it can help you nearer than you ever imagined. However, the worst part is that eye contact isn't only obdizing desire. It's also abjulous obliging trust. When you investigate her eyes and she notices that you're a comply present, at which point the genuine relationship she'll realize you're not meant only phys but also emotionally. It's also about psychological trends to her thought. She cares that it's not preoccupied or you're with her, but you're immersed in your own thoughts in that instant, which is railport. And don't just believe may say that science supports their least triggered by this upcontitis in the damage that caused fistering ing love and trust, so that each one you meet hergus, you're literally fortify your it goes beyond simply touching the appropriate places. The goal is to evoke an emotional dreaded connection. This is when the Stoic way of thinking this used to play the Stoics where marathon first place, subtle but powerful, just regulating their surroundings. Realize that true power comes from controlling how you react to the outside world, and in closeness that entails being totally available when you gaze at with goal. When you're not preoccupied with your not considering for afterward. When you're alone with her, at that point you assume commandably. At that point you'd menstruate to her thought. You're not merely a man seeking one who appreciates this bond. So the next time you'd be afraid to make eye contact with her, kit there, look intently and firmly. Give her some impression that you're either. When you do, let her know that you appreciate her. You're not disarray. Building a relationship of trust, relationship that transcends the surface heat, which point things truly begin to eye contact is more than just a technique that power in the less visibly. It's revolutionary because on seal bean, once you've mastered it, you'll see the difference. I assure you, we a talent that transcends closeness and will transform how you relate to thirst, how you cultivate connections, and our appearance in the globe. And after you discover how to utilize that power, and you'll probably, okay, let's discuss the power is a myth that most men overlook off contacting the less visible areas. You'll believe it's all about the typical the locations they very undiscussed are losing out on an entire line degree of connection. Allow them to give you a hefty blow. The Truth is that a woman's body has spots that trigger shin properly touched, response that are far more intense than. You may believe that these secret locations air where once you figure this out the magathapins out you'll be able to establish stronger matter miss just as much. If you wish to create that intense connection, you must select your words with caring. No nonsense, no flattery, just because genuine. Flattering remarks coming from a location off genuine. Tell her how beautiful sheep is certain, but make it personal. What you adore, bother, and what motivates you. You're a crazy, but it's not about gratitude. Eyes away is important. Anticipation is fourth place. Ultimate touch point. Crucial, observe. Vidho. The hinting or tantalizing what comes next might cause her to cling to every word is an effective strategy. Fit. Here you're painting a picture, not just talking a mud in her head. Gradually gain strength that stress that she ice waiting for discover what comes next, and it begins. Let's discuss pace. Slowly. Now that we have you. Occasionally talk so you're revealing a secret. Oh, her alone. It strikes that gentle personal tone distinct. But don't be scared to change it up to become little stiffer every shift in. Bold or but keep it warm. Yea. Keep her. By using your voice compulsively absorb. Sharpening her senses in ways that words can eat desire. It's the subtle reason. Shoe that is important. Combine touchly. Touching her, perhaps stroking her neck. Or your hand on her back. This is the cold truth with passions. Something you must comprehend. Soft strokes that have a greater impact that great gestures can be disarmed with words pleasant, but those peaceful provate the whispers that give her feelings actually sincerely. Hoped she will recall those she will remember certain much longer than this. Isn't about playing anything else. This game is about being authentic and deliberate. Ants is where the Stoics and Stoic philosophy believed in having control over your ideas, your behavior, and influence that you have on other people. It's not simply about regular tinger speech regarding presenting it with intention. Your words have the power to create chaos or tranquility. Relation. You own the ability to produce something to noble, but it did man's master of buying totally present to your feelings and use a sorority to establish a sincere port at the following time. Donorly solely on her since you're close to her. Physical contact communicates with apparatus using your voice to convey message and establish the tone to arouse your desire, since in the end, ultimately it doesn't matter how much you claim that about your words and your manner is how you feel. Ants nobody can in your power or how tiered her repistry. Quickly a question for Yab for we resume. Which method do you prefer for creating deep relationship with a woman? I would adore for you to leave a remark. Bellin provide your adas, or if you're unsure about what the exemplink will be established in the briefment, paying attention to your viewpoint makes these discussions that far more significant. And at Makista's video even more accessibly. Who could find it is for. Therefore go please take a moment to leave a comment. I'm eager to read your next words. Let's continue. The finest part is still in front of number 4, sweetie. Touches that are more expressive. May words speaking about your hands. They're not only to be touched. They are rather to forget a brute force or haste. When communicating, this strength is in thy intention and accuracy. Imagine that quality is more important than thy quantity. Each touch is like a brush stroke on her body, and the canvas are really masterpiece. That gradual trace of a gentle graze, a longer back down her stomach, or a gentle pat on her thigh, can establish a stronger bond beyond merely physical. The key is to explore with touch diversity. Glide off temperature and pressure. Speed running your fingers over her flesh or applying pressure. Her back's tiny. These small actions reveal a lot about her. A gentle pat on neck is your golden zone. A stroke around her neck or behind it waves off sensation from the collar bone. She won't anticipate the major shock and dynamis you're demonstrating. Do her distinct. It goes beyond what you accomplish. How you do it. A slow, methodical stroke when paired with the appropriate pressure poises. The taming. A remarkable blexpense is everything. Let's now introduce this. Instructed behavior proposefully and b. Totally note responding rashly in theme. Me and your touch need to convey stoic approach to physical touch. Shitude. Purposeful don't and deliberate tone. Trial brush it's there. So go slowly on. Let your hand will talk once your a complete gentle touch will have a greater significance as opposed to thy. So as you do anything grand deceptits. Number 5 and the real power okay. Behind pleasure if you're rethickened of. Man who is still here we are another two. Settle for mediocrancians you're not. Content with the surface level of enjoyment beyond the next you're seeking. Depth and insight not cheap thrills and genuine bonding which is what isolates the mind's actual power in intimacy between men and boys. So let's examine the THL. Let's examine FTHL. Like look at this. Let's send me with this. Let's send me land. We all know I've been exploring that Mekala's case. So, it's case lads and with KT throlls. And we send my two. We send my THL. I case me athok. We see to go to you to see with you. We can Q strength bend it. Most men believeth that pleasurize everything. Regarding piety the hands the contact moves but allow me to provide a bit off information. Ruthless intellect weighs the most weight the most powerful thing in your mind organ that interprets each and very touch every word to become an expert off school. But if you're not participating you're missing the point. Desire in her view. It all starts with pleasure and fulfillment in the mind. Brain. McKist's final decision. Woo. Thrills her. What feels good? What? Makes her want toast up more if you want to concentrately on her physique. You'll missed. Get in touch with first. In her mind. And here's the catchies. The starting point for serious power. Complaints conversation. Yes I did say. Well your hidden weapon is talk. Prior. Tony hiking physical happening. Take the time to learn about her preferences. What turns her on and what makes her tick. Inquire about her dreams and establish the secure environment where Ash can express hers more at ease. You'll make her fail with you in mind. It's simpler to physically unlock her. You're a net meriless seeking sacks that you want to produce an encounter that energize a very aspect of for in their mental health issues. Continue games have Thewar to modifies. Game as she messages that are suggestive. Before you lay a hand on her final thoughts. An outro gives awake clues about what's going to await a Darl. It's among the most strong Paul thought makes. You crave her to feel instant for the previous moment. It even starts let me share some knowledge stated holics. Outside of dream's deepest pleasurize. Evoked inside does not originate from flashy moves that psychological and emote relationship use tuppish here is. Where genuine knowing her on a personal level gives you power to poor level nor. Remember that pleasure is not mental. Does also physical reacto visual stimuli. Other than touch and sound effects. Softly set the scene lighting that fits the mood this particular Santmere. Details they interactivis. Is where when stoicism is applied to. Stoic to do teach self-control over your abilities and incapable of controlling. What they taught a boot presence and comprehension when you are there with your spouse on an emotion level and you have mental power over the experience, which makes it strong and satisfying on all levels. So keep that in mind when you establish a with her recognize heard. Cyrus before making contact. You're in. Not merely making the occasion better. Her when you get proficient you're changing it. It's the art of mental and physical relationships. You're not merely having your care resulting in an amazing experience. Therefore this icy hour incentive allow me to drop something. ASA little reminder by Talia. Brother undervalued the in-relation tone. Jointment the reality is the mental and emotional bond that deepens the understanding the true sign is if anything else for sure it's nice to know. All the right moves but it all depends on how you'll make her feel the real thing. So the game on its head aphrodisiac. Let's bring the very thing intimacy between two people's more and just what you're in conclusion being aware of the important areas is where shed is ours to feel touched intimized more than simply physical attraction's secret locations are where onto your figure this out the Maggie Chapin's out will be able to escu. It surpasses even the most basic I'm being gently touched as little of a faint graze down the nape of her back off her throat or a light pressure on the within her wrist which is unexpected but these low cushions are quite delicate and when you touch them purposefully either than haphazardly you're a message her in a manner similar to talking with your hands isn't about only following the procedures. It's about giving each action purpose like a quiet dialogue her body recognizes. Now consider areas such as rhea, her neck holders or knees. Even her earlobes might appear tiny or inimpertinent but believing when say it. They possess enormous potential. The second place the emotional trigger key is in how you talk 'em occasionally with a gentle touch works far better than going out. A solid plaything softness and pressure and observe how your body reacts in unexpected ways. However this is where them realist and doubt finding hidden spots is more than just making. Showing her physical player is thy goal. That you are there and that you are concerned enough to examine what truly brings her joy. These locations have a connection no a mechanism of pleasure and when you'll bane it. Yes. You'll ignore the exterior and you finish her body will be grateful. No. Words are needed. It's not about playing games. Let's face it this is about making a deeper connection. Level. It involves looking past appearances. Level encounters that the majority of men are involved in and genuinely conversing with her in some manner that fosters closeness and have faith when you investigate these surprising spots. So not merely stroking her body you're making her feel something in thoughts. What distinguishes those who are from individuals who leave a lasting impression. And here's another strong hairstyle tip for her may seem easy but managing your playing with her hair, with her fingers or simply giving it a pat can feel extra malipit such as. This extends beyond the physical realm. Conveys concern affection connection, which escaming consoling and demonstrates to your attention and presence into her. Therefore let's go to the next point. Just leave when you're near her. Slow down and take your time at the typical location's time and investigate less evident areas. Observe how her Herbidius responds and when you experience mastery the skill of speaking and thread off delivery lean into the response it's about hurrying or kicking. Boxers ensuring that every touch matures. Belly when you begin to take no tuft. Areas you'll establish a degrad intimacy that she will never forget. So let's bring in some of the Stokes millage. Possess the ability to present and concentrating on the present and exercising control, what you can in third. Place the secret spot most men ignore. The closeness space they tent tails. Being totally present read or hurrying. Through the physical examiner Shento reach. The ultimate objective is to comprehend the effect of each touch 8 very instant as well as your reaction to it when you do all see that most profound force is not used to creep connections. They're created by being patient and presenting comprehension so that the next time I'll keep in mind that it's not simply about the obvious. Locations do focus on the small topics that nobody discusses and the ability to be totally present with since doing so will result in the development of a relationship that's more than just physical real passionate and unforgettable. Okay, so let's be honest for a moment and discover how to master art of number 3 of your words and more crucially how as you mentioned most men don't notice this but believe me, it's a gunshare the key is actual Contact thus it's crucial, but what really matters is your voice weapon. Thirst spoken words you might ignite a spark with intention that you didn't even knew it was feasible to consider. This most men didn't even think about. There, however, I must say that it's absurdly the appropriate words were whispered at the delicate, the appropriate tone at the proper moment, have a significant impact on many males, engrossed in the depending on appearance, or what should function, but I can you. That intent and tone are what truly make you stand out. Words, certainly words are instruments, and when utilized they are deadly whispers, so use them carefully. While you're near, hear anything in her ear.